What's going on, everybody? It's AG here. Another week has passed, so today I'm going to bring my Week 5 Top 25 College Football Rankings. Before we do that, though, do me a favor and hit that big old red subscribe button down below. That way when I post more college football content like this, you'll be the first one to know about it. So without further ado, let's get started. So as you can see on your screen now, here's my top 25. I'm going to be going down team by team, 25 to 1, breaking down why and what team I have at each position. So kicking us off at number 25, I've got the Pitt Panthers. They weren't ranked for me last week, but looking at the schedule, I know they don't have a lot of good wins, but their only loss is to a top 10 Tennessee team in overtime, so I really can't fault them for that one. At 24, I've got LSU. Their only loss is barely to Florida State, which I have at number 23, barely losing to them at the very end. And they have an impressive win over Mississippi State. So at number 24, I've got LSU. Speaking of Florida State, at number 23 is Florida State. All they do, they just keep on winning this year. They're still undefeated. At number 22, probably my biggest dropper this week, I've got the Oklahoma Sooners. I've been telling y'all all year, I'm not a believer in the Oklahoma Sooners, and this week only confirmed my suspicions. They had no answer for Adrian Martinez. He could do whatever he wanted against them. At number 21, actually rising after a loss, is Wake Forest. They look good against Clemson. I was skeptical on Wake Forest, but their offense looks like they can hang with anybody in the country. At number 20 is Ole Miss. They struggled against Tulsa. If they weren't in the SEC, they would not be in the rankings for me. They play Kentucky this week, though, in what should be a litmus test for two teams that I'm kind of skeptical on. At number 19, I've got Baylor. They had a good win over an undefeated Iowa State team. They play Oklahoma State this week in what should show what they're really made of. At number 18, I've got BYU. They had a tough game against Wyoming this week. They've got a pretty tough schedule. It does not let up, so I'll be curious to see what happens with BYU. At number 17 is Oregon. I thought they were going to lose this game this week. They played Washington State, and they were down late. I didn't think they had a chance. Washington State let off the gas pedal a little too soon. Washington State should have won this game, but this is about Oregon. So Oregon, ever since they lost to Georgia, they've looked a lot better. I'm curious to see how good they are. I don't know. Bo Nix is playing a lot better, but this week didn't confirm anything for me. At number 16, I've got Arkansas. They're coming off a close loss to Texas A&M. I'm not really sure how I feel about this team. I think it might be similar to last year where they started off strong and then just once they got the SEC play, started slowly dipping down. Number 15, I've got Texas A&M. I'm also not really sure how to feel on this team. Ever since they've made the quarterback switch to Johnson, they've been winning though, so I'll give them credit for that one. At number 14, I've got Washington. I'm not the biggest believer in any Pac-12 team, but Washington has looked good so far, so I'll keep them at number 14 with Michael Penix. At number 13, I've got Minnesota. They absolutely handled Michigan State today. Row the boat, baby. At number 12, I've got Penn State. James Franklin, they had this team looking good. This team, I think they're a sleeper. I think they could keep winning. At number 11, I've got Utah. Another week where the Utes look good. All they have to do is keep winning, and then everything will lay itself out for them. At number 10, breaking in the top 10 for the first time for me this year, we've got the Tennessee Volunteers. They beat Florida this week, and they look like they might be the only team in that division that can really challenge Georgia. At number 9, I've got Kentucky. All they had to do this week was dominate Northern Illinois, and I'd probably have them in my top 5 right now, but they struggled against Northern Illinois. They play Ole Miss this week in a battle of SEC unbeatens, and which should show which team can actually kind of play. Number 8, I've got NC State. They keep on winning and keep on showing that they should be ranked up. They play Clemson this week, and if they can win this game, they'll crack the top 5 for me next week. At number 7, I've got Oklahoma State. They had a bye this week, but they remain steady. They play Baylor this week. If they can win this game, they'll probably move up for me. At number 6, I've got USC. USC, what happened this week? They struggled against Oregon State. I thought they were going to lose this game. They barely won 14-10, despite their defense getting multiple interceptions. Caleb Williams could not do anything against Oregon State. Oregon State shut them down. I was convinced Oregon State was going to win this game, but USC somehow pulls it out. I was going to bump them up to number 4 if they could have had a dominating win this week, but that didn't happen, so they'll stay at number 6 for me. At number 5, I've got Michigan. Them two, I was convinced they were going to lose to Maryland. They were struggling again in this game. Tua's brother was lighting Michigan up. This was their first game against some real competition, so I was kind of curious to see how Michigan played. They didn't look too dominant, but then again, Maryland was undefeated, so maybe Maryland's just good. But I swapped Clemson and Michigan this week because Clemson actually beat a top 25 team. So speaking of that, at number 4, I've got Clemson. They barely beat Wake Forest. They had to go to overtime. But the good news this week is DJ actually looked good. It was their defense that struggled, which I didn't think would ever happen. DJ looked good this game. He shouldn't have any help. These top 3 teams, you could put them in any order. These top 3 are just on a completely different level. At number 3, I've got Ohio State. They dominated Wisconsin. They look good. They've got a lot of weapons. They're going to be a force. Number 2, Georgia. They did struggle with Kent State this week. That's why I've got them at number 2. But they're still a force to be reckoned with. And then number 1, I've got Alabama. They handled Vanderbilt pretty easy. These top 3 teams are just on a completely different level than everybody else, and I don't see anybody beating them. So, there you have it. That's my top 25 for the week. In the comments section, drop any teams that you think should be ranked or any teams that you think should not be ranked. As always, remember to like, share, and subscribe. That way when I post more college football related content, you'll be the first one to know about it. Until next time, AG, out.